We all love cat girls, fam, especially now that they've become more popular thanks to anime and manga and such, right? They've become such a very beloved and a really abundant character trope or character theme that we see across many different stories and such, right? Thanks to their cat-like personality and the Gapmo way with their cat-like features such as their cat ears, their cat paws, and the cat tail that they have. It's something that a lot of people can really love and enjoy and appreciate as well, and just find cute in general, right? That's something that really heals the heart, right? So on and so forth. And so tell me, Rindo, when this girlfriend came into our lives, right, from a cardboard box lying on the street, I knew that there is indeed a chance that cat girls are still amazing and really can be more amazing than what they can be, right? So again, tell me, Rindo, about Tama Nekonari, the cat of the Rentaro family, the resident cat of the Rentaro family, right? And shout out to all of the Tama fans out there, fam. So yeah, that being said, let's get on with it, shall we? With a really quick introduction on how Tama met Rentaro, right? So he came across her in the sidewalk, right? Rentaro was just happening to walk by, and he came across this, well, Tama in a, well, cat girl, a person wearing cat ears. She's sitting in the box with the words, "Adopt me," right? And Rentaro was as shocked as anyone, right? His first encounter with Tama is pretty wild, right? This is a wild girlfriend encounter, so to speak, or rather a wild soulmate encounter, I should say, right? When the first question that Tama asked us, "Are you gonna adopt me?" Which already, well, there's a lot of questions that needed to be asked, right? But yeah, that's why we're here, right? Let's start from the start, right? So Tama, she is someone who speaks in the lingo of a cat, right? Using cat-like speech techniques, right? Like nya or meow and such, right? So on and so forth. She even has a cat hoodie with the character of the kanji character, I believe, for cat written on it, which I find to be actually so cute and adorable. I want one for myself because, fun fact, if you take a look at this design from Nozowa Sensei, if you take a look at the hoodie, aside from having, you know, cat ears in the hood, right, and even a cat tail attached to it, the sleeves of it are sort of roundish or very soft, and they look so soft, and I really love it. Soft, round, plump, and they resemble that of a cat's paw, right? And I also love how there are also slits or finger holes in the sleeve where you can insert your fingers in and just act like they're claws, right? Overall, this design of a cat hoodie I really love, and I find to be so cute as well, especially when used on a character like Tama. She also even has a collar and some cat ears, or a headband, so to speak, right? A headband that, mind you, blends very well with her hair, that sometimes I even forget that it's actually a headband instead of her actual ears, right? Which I find to be, you know what, along the way I just went along with it in the role because thanks to watching a lot of fantasy animes and such, right, where cat girls or beast girls and such are sort of norm, so to speak, right? I just went along with it. Plus, it does look kind of cute and very fitting for Tama's character, right, and her whole character design in general, right? So going back to Tama, this 21-year-old person acting like a cat, looking for an owner to adopt her. What's the situation, right? What's the backstory? Now let's start actually from the very start, right? Or at least from an early record from her life, as we see from the bonus story. Tama had always had this very laid back attitude, right? She was very apathetic, so to speak, right? Or very listless, where she doesn't want to work or study or go to school. Instead, she just wants to laze around at home, right? And there's even an activity from their school where the students were tasked to write down their dreams for the future, right? And I guess for us as well, we also went through that sort of similar activity, right? And just want to share a bit, fam. Indeed, so I really believe that life has a way with making or writing the trajectory of our lives, right? Of course, we ourselves as person or as people have control of our lives, but indeed, as time goes on, or as many factors as well influence us as we grow, we do indeed, you know, it is really indeed possible to shift and change our mentality and the way that we want to be, or as we grow up, right? Because for sure, the dreams that I had as tiny Rindo, as little Rindo, aren't the same as the path that I'm taking right now, right? But that isn't to say that I'm sad with this path that I'm doing or that I'm taking, right? Instead, I'm really happy that I've finally realized that this is actually something that I really, want to do. So just a quick reminder out there, fam, that I just want to throw out, to really just stick with your dreams, follow your dreams, and never give up, right? It's all about the passion. Now, going back from this activity, right, that the students were tasked to write down their dreams, and Tama was very unenthusiastic about this, right? But when she saw out of the window, she saw a cat getting fed, sleeping around anywhere. It made her realize that she wanted to be, guess what, a cat. So, a cat who doesn't have to work or study, just lay around all day. She wants to be the feline, right? She manifesting the cat energy. And so when she actually grew up, right, she did eventually was able to join a company and get a job, but she was overwhelmed. She didn't feel like working at all, because the worker's lifestyle was something that she didn't like, because it was, I believe, or I'm insinuating this, or I'm interpreting this, that she found it to be so repetitive, right? Work, home, eat, sleep, repeat. That sort of process or that sort of cycle, okay, to anyone, sure, that may be normal, and it is normal, right? Don't get me wrong. But for Tama, she does that, but with no fun, no hobbies, no motivation, nothing to look forward to as she gets home from work, right? She feels like there's really something missing, and that, what is she working towards for, right? And that, for sure, that sort of mental and emotional stress can really put a toll on anyone, right? And I really do believe as well that some people also feel that same way. And so from her desire when she was young, right, or her desire of being a cat, that is, or growing up to be a cat, right, it really pushed her at that point in her life to make her realize that she really does want to become a cat, quote unquote, casting aside her humanity and living the way of the cat. She quit her job, put on this adorable cat getup, and then she was actually very satisfied. But that is until she realized that with no job, she has no money, with no money, no food, no shelter, anything to survive, right? Nothing to survive. And thus, that led her to really go for the option to look for someone to adopt her and take care of her instead, right? Now, questionable, that is something indeed questionable on Tama's side, but I'll get to that later, right? But she even mentions, right, and how she'll really accept that whatever may come or whatever may happen to her because she can't survive, right? She would just willingly accept it, right? If no one were to adopt her, right? That, of course, means unfortunate things, right? So when Tama quit her job, she actually called her mother and told her about it, right? She expressed her feelings that, Mom, I don't want to work. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go do this job. I just want to, laze around at home, right? I don't want to do this anymore, right? And her mother, of course, was indeed worried, but she still gave her a very, a reality check that is in good heart, that is in good intention, because it shows that her mother really cares for her so much, right? So with that reality check, Tama's mother told her that if it would really be difficult, fam, to survive, to survive in the world without having a job or without having money, and living a very laid-back life or relaxing life isn't that easy. Having what's the phrase again? Having your life fed to you on a silver platter or delivered to you in a silver platter or in a silver spoon. What's the term, right? That sort of thing is very hard to come by unless if you are born rich and such, right? Or I guess it also kind of depends from family to family or circumstance to circumstance, but yeah, you get the point, right? Now, Tama also really feels guilty also leaving to leave Rentaro to have to pamper and provide for her all the time. But then Rentaro helped resolve the conflict that she had, and this is just a nutshell of it, right? Of how it went down. That because Tama had struggled and was really emotionally at pain, right? Because of enduring something that she doesn't want to do, that is to work, right? And choosing to leave that sort of work, right? Choosing to follow the way of the cat is her own way of escaping that sort of mental and emotional pain, right? Thus, it doesn't mean that what she is doing, right, is merely wanting to live a laid-back life or just simply wanting to, relax and all, but it's actually a means of her own way of escaping that very pain. After their heartwarming exchange, Tama has now determined to really somehow get a job, to get a part-time job, because she finally has that hint of motivation, that spark of motivation, right, to do something with her life and to do something good and meaningful, right, because she has something to look forward to for the work that she will do, right? And when she was accepted into the Rentaro family, she really does continue to enjoy living her days in such pleasureness, happiness, and in peace, right? And I really love it. The thing is, fam, right, going back to what I've mentioned about Tama choosing to just set herself up for adoption, right? Very wild, right? If anyone else other than Rentaro, right, theoretically adopted her instead, I don't even want to imagine it that far, right? Perish the thought, because indeed it's such a beautiful fate, a beautiful meeting, right, for someone like Tama, or rather I should say someone like all of the girlfriends, right, to have met someone as kind and loving as Rentaro, right? God bless Rentaro indeed for having such a very kind and beautiful soul, you know. It's also such a beautiful moment to know that Tama now has so many people in her life, right, who she can love and work hard for, and in return they too can love her and pamper her as much as Rentaro would as well, you know. Her appearance throughout the series always brings a smile to my face because of how cute she is, and I'm talking like cute, right? From her expressions to her poses, the cat poses that she does and the cat gestures that she makes, right? All of these things accompanied by the art style of Nozowa Sensei is so cute indeed, man. I especially love it at the times when her head, right, just when her head is drawn, it eventually just becomes so very cat-like that it's almost like you could mistake it for like an actual cat, right? I just love it. And speaking of cat-like, fam, right, this is also what I really God love about the character theme of Tama, right, of the Neko character theme that Tama has. Because instead of going for the chippy or energetic and playful, very what's the term, really teasing cat, there we go, very teaseful cat, instead of going for that, Nakamura Sensei went for the cat, as in listlessness, just want to laze around, relax around, wanting to be pampered type of cat, right? Who is, again, indeed, very cat-like, right? I have a cat at home, as some of you may or may not know, I guess, yeah. And Tama acts exactly as they would do as well, you know, at least to the house cat level, right? Where they just, you know, they're just really chilling around, right? They're very, relaxing creatures, you know, and it's so refreshing indeed to have this sort of perspective to this type of Neko or cat character, right? I really love it. But of course, that doesn't always mean that she just wants to laze around in the school ground, you know, because remember Tama's promise that she'll really want to find a part-time job, you know. Well, this whole time, we actually find out that she's been scheduling job interviews here and there, but flunks them each and every time because, well, I guess you can imagine the sort of answers that she would give, right? But, of course, eventually, she did manage to find a job, you know, because being with the Rentaro family, and seeing them all work hard, you know, and doing what they're doing, right, has also influenced Tama and further motivated her to be proud, to do something that she can be proud of and, you know, really accomplish it and see it all the way through. Thanks to the support of the family, she was able to really have a job, right? But most importantly, have something that she can use as a contributing factor to also help better the Rentaro family in her own way, you know. Thanks to the family, and of course a huge thanks to Hahari as well and her very concerning hiring process, right? I question how she is indeed massively rich, but oh well. All in all, cats are really fun to have around, and when in the Rentaro family, Tama's presence has always been such a delight. But more importantly so, I really love how she really does strive to hold on to her motivations and to hold on to that love for the Rentaro family, right? That beautiful exchange between the family and hers, their relationship together. I just really love how they made it all work out. With that being said, thank you for listening, family, and take care.